Kunst and all.
Hey, welcome to Kunst and All. We are Lorenzo Alberti,
Nastasia Filippo,
and Francesco Ricci.
three dancers who are super passionate about giving you a peek behind the curtain of the art we create on stage.
In this podcast, we're diving deep into what really goes into putting on a show. It's not just about the dances you see on stage. We're talking about the whole crew, the orchestra, the costume designers, the health teams, the admin people, and everyone else who helps make a production happen.
Exactly. We want to share the stories of the folks you don't always see, but who make everything tick. It's all about the hard work, the teamwork, and the creativity that goes into bringing a performance to life. This is Kunst and All.
Hi, and welcome to our first online call episode. Today we introduce Alessandro Lucia Frola. Born in Parma, Alessandro Lucia is an Italian principal dancer with the Hamburg Ballet. Trained at Professione Danza Parma, they've won awards such as the Anna Pavlova competition in 2009 and the Grand Prix Ciutat de Barcelona in 2014. In 2015, Frola became the first Italian to star in Billy Elliot at Teatro Sistina in Rome. As a 2017 Prix de Lausanne finalist, they earned a scholarship to the Hamburg Ballet School under John Neumeier and joined the company in 2019, rising to principal dancer in 2023. Frola has danced major roles in Nijinsky, Romeo and Juliet, and La Dame aux Camélias, and regularly appears at international galas like Les Étoiles and Icon 2025.
Hi, Alessandro. Welcome to Kunst and All. We're so happy to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to.
Hi, Tasi. Hi, Franci.
Hello.
Hello. So, as we read your bio before, let's start with a little bit to get to know you a bit better. Can you share your journey to ballet and when did you first discover your love for dance?
Well, I've born in a family of dancers, of artists and dancers, from my grandma to my uncle to my dad, mom, brother. Everyone basically is dancing in the art actually, because my grandpa was also a technician. Um, my grandparent, you say? Yeah, no? Was writing opera, so yeah, everyone was like artists. So it was kind of easy to to get into the dancing, and I'd never had like a moment where I felt, yes, this is what I want to do. Like I kind of knew it from beginning. I was dancing so much that my mom was exhausted of me at home all day long dancing around, and yeah, so it was kind of obvious that I wanted to do that also. Yeah, then I studied my parents' school in Parma, Professione Danza Parma, until the age of 16, until when it was super hard to work with my family because as a teenager, it's there's a little bit of
You think you know better all the time, no?
no, there's this rebel side of of
We all
the
been through that.
exactly. So there I went to Mexico to study with my Cuban teacher that was also the teacher of my parents. And she also comes to Parma sometimes, like for 3 months, and brings some Mexico dancers, which is super nice for the for my parents' school to meet other people, to meet also a new way of dancing. So it was very interesting, and I spent 1 year in Mexico, which I loved so much. It's like my second home there. Um, from the food, first of all. And then after that, I did the Prix de Lausanne in 2016, I think. And then I joined the Hamburg Ballet in school for 2 years in the theater class, the last 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm actually interested in something because I also love Mexico because I've been there but very shortly, like 20 days. And how long were you there? You said 1 year?
It's less than 1 year because I did like these 3 months that my Cuban teacher went to Italy, so I went with her, so kind of like 6 months. But it was like literally I felt like living in Mexico, you know. I met a lot of friends, and I have the family that was taking care of me and my sister because I actually went with my sister. So we really felt like lived life in Mexico. The quinceañeras, you know, all this.
Ah, so you lived really in the cultural life of
Yeah, yeah,
Mexico as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
That's pretty
exactly,
cool.
yeah.
Did you find any similarities of living in Italy, or like, or things that surprised you the most, for example, about their culture or something like this?
Well, what surprised me actually is the confidence sounds like might sound bad, but it's not in a bad way. Like in the sense that I used to like I don't know. I remember once I walked in the street and that this girl fell in love with me, so she invited me for a quinceañera, you know, like this. And it's like it's cute. I went there and she was like, "Would you do the dance with me?" I'm like, "This I don't know," but you know, it's
That's
cute that you
cute.
invited me. You know, and then I think what we have in common is a lot like from the culture is how important is for us the food. You know, like which in Germany there's not much,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. Thanks. Yeah.
And we will get into that. So, Alessandro, besides ballet, did you take any other kind of performance lessons? Because we've discovered that you actually played the role of Billy Elliot in the musical.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we were just wondering what role did that play in your early stages of your training, and what was it about the musical that influenced your artistic vision?
hmm in my parents' school, there was also um, a musical school, like academy. So I also grew up in the musical. Also, my uncle is a musical performer. So I always loved musical. Always watched musicals since I was a kid. Never thought. I mean, I was doing some musicals in the school, in my parents' school, but like small ones, you know, just for like experiences, but never as a job. Never thought I would have done it like as a job. And then like a student of my parents that graduated, and she did the audition. She was like, "Oh, you have to do like make Alessandro do the Elliot," you know. And I was like, "Okay, sure, let's do it." And I was shocked when there was so many kids, you know, we were so many in the audition, and I was super happy that they chose me, you know. I was like literally like in the sky when they called me. I remember actually I was in the hotel, and the director just texted me like personally in my message. It was like, "Good morning, Billy." Like this. That's how he said it. It
Oh,
was very
wow.
cute. Yeah, I was like jumping in the
Sweet.
bed. I have to say, I don't like really remember the process of how became Billy, but somehow like I watched it not many months ago. Um, and I was super surprised of how actually natural things like were for me, because there's things that actually make so much sense like artistically that I probably didn't thought about it before because I was too young, but it was very natural. Um, the hard part was of course doing the shows, like having the pressure of all the shows I had to do, and all like the show, it's long, it's like 2 hours and probably more, and I'm on stage the whole time. um I used to like have the adrenaline. I remember used to waking up in the night, like very often after the shows, like standing on my bed or like standing somewhere in the apartment, like very like it was a lot of pressure. Um, I remember because in the set of Billy, there's also a bed. I was like sleeping in my bed in the hotel, thinking like dreaming that I fell asleep in the show. So I used to wake up and like, "Oh my God, I fell asleep." And I was like, "No, okay, I'm fine. Actually, it's
Wow.
okay."
Wow.
Yeah, it was so scary.
He's kind of singing solidarity all of a sudden back on your
Yeah.
bed.
Um, but it was an amazing experience that actually gave me so much experience and so much confidence on stage, which I'm very grateful for. And the people I work with are amazing, and yeah, I'm very proud of how that I've met them. all of them.
How long did the show run for? Like how many months?
I did 1 year, and in Italy there's no like different cast, so I was doing every show until I didn't got injured. So every like Michael had to do Billy, then a girl had to do the little boy. It was Italy.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Alessandro, how old were you when you did this? Maybe you said it already.
No, I think I was 14.
14.
14.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think 13, 14.
And you had ballet training and everything, because like it's such a 360-degree role.
Yeah, I had to learn how to do tip tap also, which I love. I wish I could do it still. I wish I could go to classes, find classes and go to tip tap because it's beautiful. It's so interesting. And then the acting and the singing was for me the hardest. Also, especially because at that age I was changing my voice. So
Right.
actually during the show it happened that I like my voice just like explode like during the electricity. Um, I was singing and then from nowhere I was like ah, and I was like oh. So I had to
Mm.
stop the singing and I was like, okay, I need to talk. I don't have a voice anymore, so I had to talk the whole song.
Yeah, 14 years old to go
Yeah.
through this. Wow.
Yeah.
On stage with
Yeah.
people watching.
No, it was horrible, horrible. And then I had to learn how to sing with my own voice, or like everything in the nose, in falsetto. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an experience. Wow.
What was that? Like, yeah, acting, yeah, too tough.
And basically then, like after, let's say, after also what you just said, that you went to Mexico and then you was a Prix de Lausanne, and then when did you decide to go to Germany? Like when is this happened? And how did it shape you, this like changing from Italy to Germany? And yeah, just tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about your journey.
Well, I got the scholarship from the Prix de Lausanne. Um, and I wanted to go to Royal actually, because I also got a scholarship for Royal, and but my parents were like, I think you should go Hamburg. I knew Hamburg from my brother because he also came here 1 year. He did the opposite actually. He went to Hamburg and then he went to Mexico. But I didn't know much the repertoire. I didn't know much John. Didn't know much about the city. I was very small. I was very little when I came here and visit him. But I think it was the best decision that my parents like made for me to come here because like I feel so lucky and in a perfect like in a perfect place. Like working with John, it was like the best thing that could have ever happened for me. And learning like actually to like myself and what I like about art actually.
And why did your parents, between this and London, there was a specific reason why they said like go to Hamburg?
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, they thought because of my acting, and in Hamburg is very famous for being an actor also on stage, for being an artist,
True.
and I mean, for being an actor especially, um, not in a sense, not in, like the Royal, they're not actors. It's just like this, the difference of the roles that they have in Royal and Hamburg. Like in Hamburg, maybe there's a role that doesn't really dance, but it's like very like tells a story, acting, and yeah.
Nice. Your parents were good. I think good advisors.
Yeah.
Lucky you, yeah.
Yes.
And living in Germany, what aspects have influenced your approach to dance and to your everyday life? Like, how did you change your life since when you're living here?
Well, I finally came out here,
Oh, I
because
see.
I felt free to do that, and in Italy I was such a I never felt like very like um pushed away from my family for that. It's just like from the environment of Italy and the mindset. I never thought I could have been like out as a gay person there. So this one helped me a lot for being myself or knowing myself. And then of course like we all know that, like, you also know that we leave early. We have to like do everything like without parents in apartments. You have to learn all the stuff that you usually, like, someone that our age doesn't do, you know. So also that like was very interesting, even though it sometimes was very hard. So that was like, I really need to go home, you know, and I cannot do this. But it was something that made me grow a lot. Yeah, German. I like Germany for mostly for this, for like make me feel free to be myself.
That's beautiful. Nice.
Yeah, how do you approach your craft in ways that transcend conventional gender roles in ballet? Because
Mm,
if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, you also came out on non-binary.
yeah, yeah,
So I wonder how you approach your craft in the gender roles that ballet has.
yeah. I like like I also like acting, you know. So and it's my favorite part of the like of the role is the like learning and to feel and to yeah, to feel the emotion of that person that is not me, and to be someone else, of course putting myself on it, you know, not trying to escape from myself. It's just, you know, also learning new feelings and new emotions and new um, traumas that I never experienced but someone else did. And this is the most like beautiful thing for me. So I don't care about the gender of the role I do. But I have to say I've also been very lucky because uh, I think John saw myself as like the androgynous human being. Um, so he also gave me a lot of roles with like not really a gender, like Park. I really like his version because there's really no gender. That's what I think. Also, that, you know, that's my Park. I didn't put a gender in it. There's in Donna No Bispacem, he made a solo of a kid, you know, just a kid. Wasn't really a gender. Um, then something else. I mean, also Mercutio somehow it doesn't really give it that such a straight guy, you know. So, um, yeah. So I also been very lucky to have like experienced this, like being myself in this case and on stage, you know.
And me myself personally coming from the school, I know how much John cares that it's an art form that is from a human to humans. So
Hmm.
it's really special that he acknowledged the fact to bring Alessandro on stage and interpret a role through you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's beautiful to hear, and I'm sure you had that incredible time also for this reason, because he really allowed you to be yourself
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, because he like what is very good on is that exactly this, like to make people being themselves, but being someone else. Like not doing it yourself, but being someone else. You know, so you do it your way, so you don't copy someone else, but you are someone else. Um, and it's very interesting, and he's very good at this because he really knows how to make you understand the meanings of the steps or the feelings or an emotion of that role, and by not telling you how to do it, but just how to like explaining you, make you understand why and how this person feel.
So what was like working with John Neumeier at Hamburg Ballet, and how his mentorship influenced your artistic journey, beside the fact that he really allowed you to be yourself?
Mhm. Um, well, I think I mean, I really like my relationship with John. I really, I'm super grateful for like for my experience here, for how much he pushed me on, you know, like super fast, getting to principal dancer, with many roles, and also in school he created a solo for me. So I was and a pas de deux. So I was like, always being very grateful for the attention he gave me. But for me, the most important thing it was to be there in the studio and just listening to him, because the way he talks, a kid could understand. It's not that hard to understand, but it's like somehow like sometimes that makes me feel stupid. because I'm like I could actually get it myself. It's not that hard to to think about it, but I needed it. I needed it to
The
hear.
way he puts it, probably.
Exactly.
I mean, we've worked with John very recently
Just
on the
now, yeah.
premiere we had
Yeah.
with Nijinsky, and there was always this like story time where we would
Yeah.
gather around, and John would share his insights and just like the depth he gives in his ballets, and
Hmm.
then you understand why even that little role at the back that's just walking across the stage, why it has an importance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super
Yeah,
inspiring.
also because like it's at the end of the day, our field, it's a business and things run very fast, but yet he really takes the time to explain why you're doing certain steps, why you're wearing this certain dress, why your makeup is like this. It's very, everything has a purpose and a reason. Nothing is
Hmm.
left just like that, like, oh, it just happened like this way. So it's very, it's just makes the like I was talking also to my colleagues before going on stage. You really feel alive and that you are a fundamental part of the
Hmm.
show.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he has a good eye on everything, and literally, like everyone is so important for him. Like he see everyone. Like if the head like it's twisted, now the of the person in the back of the stage, he says, like the lights. It's crazy how he sees the lights. Also, how he works with the lights is incredible. Um, they're so important for him, and um, every time we go for a gala, it's like we have to make sure the lights are right, and it takes so much time. Every dancer that hates me because I'm like, no, this is not good. So they have to wait for me that I finish all the lights. But yeah.
Cool, Alessandro. I mean, luckily for you, like this journey to Hamburg went really well, no?
Mhm.
And this is also your first company, and that you have worked, no?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
worked somewhere,
First
no?
come, no, no.
Like even though like everything went well, luckily with John, did you ever feel like that you have still to prove yourself in the industry, not just in the company in Hamburg, but just like in the industry, because you know the ballet industry sometimes can be a little bit stuck in the old school ways of like the binary roles and stuff.
Um, I know I do feel it every day. But I don't think it's the role. Like I said, I don't really matter. I care more about the no. I like talking about non-binary. Non-binary people doesn't get in a studio, more than in a role in a studio with my colleagues and ballet masters. Because a role it's someone else, but in the studio it's me. So
Right.
this I do care. This and something I would like um to feel more of accepted and respected on, even though I don't really care because I do it for me. Like I am non-binary for myself, not for anyone else. Um, but it's at the end it becomes like a way of respecting actually. So it is kind of make me feel a little bit bad about it. But yeah, it's for me. I don't care if they misgender me. you know, uh, I feel good with myself.
That's the most
Yeah.
important. And
Mm.
through your dancing, we see that. We
Yeah.
really see that you're at peace with yourself and you're able
Hmm.
to share what you have with the audience, which is so fascinating. I think
Mm.
whoever saw you dancing live, especially, can feel this incredible aura and light that you have.
Hmm. Thank you. Thanks.
So, as you had a Vanity Fair interview in Italy, you discussed some of the toxic elements within the ballet world, such as health pressure and systemic issues. What do you believe are the root causes of these challenges?
Um, I think it depends also from person to person. I believe there's like people that are strong enough to actually don't care. But and I always thought I was one of them I always thought that um since I was in school as a kid, in normal school, I was strong enough to not care about the toxic part of school. But of course, it does it does affect you. And I find myself a strong person in this case, but I also see there's many people that are not, and they feel it and they take it and they don't talk about it, and then they don't put it out in another way. So I really feel like it push them down, and it shouldn't be this way. I this is also very toxic, but I like to actually get pushed down before a premiere because I mean I like the feel of the pressure before a premiere, because I think I can do it better. I can do it better. Maybe it's just like in my mind.
I'm the same, don't worry.
Yeah, I think John also knew that. If I knew that would have like was helping me. Yeah, I mean, like there's so many toxic things in ballet and in art, um, or arts that actually are represented with body like of a human person, which is of course more strict because there's such a like of course we all know the high expectation of how a body should be. But I haven't discovered yet how is the best way of, because I was thinking and I wrote like a lot of papers and write it down sometimes. I wrote down and I was like, what if I am a director of the company, and how do I should say things to people, and how does a body actually, what is the limit of actually of a body that can be extreme, or the minimum of the expectation of the what a body should be. What would you do in this case? Because most of the time I believe it comes from like I don't know, a trauma, or something happened like just now that you broke up with a guy or whatever, and something that is very like personal, it's like private, because we're not stupid. We all know that how our body should be. We know that if we could get injured if we're not healthy. We can injure other people, so we are aware of this. And somehow we get treated that we are stupid. But we're not. If something happened with my body, maybe just ask me what happened to me, or something. Just talk to me. When I was writing down, I was like, this is hard, like you have a lot of dancers in front of you. It must be hard, but there must be another way.
Yeah, especially when it comes this kind of stuff, there are many layers.
Mhm.
So and also it's very different how you approach person to person. So it's a very delicate role
Yeah,
and very
yeah,
hard, I must say.
yeah, yeah. That's why I also believe a therapist would be very good for like for a ballet company, for dancers, because of course the director cannot go to every person and talk to, he has also his job. A therapy, it's that's what the therapy does, knowing the person, knowing how to approach, exactly like you said, the person. um is not an easy topic, and not everyone can do it. Not everyone can be aware and know how to talk with people, or different people. Like, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, with the thing about like having a therapist like at work, it's I think something that a lot of companies are experiencing now, the need to have someone who's like an outside person that's not directly related with the company, but
Mhm.
that can help dancers, yeah, go through stuff, whether it's personal, whether it's anxiety for stage. I think that's super important. And yeah,
I've heard at English National Ballet, if I'm not wrong, they have this
Mhm. Yeah.
role. Someone told me, and it seemed to work pretty well.
Mm.
For what I've heard. Of course, I didn't hear from the whole company, but from the people I know that they told me, seems like a very important role maybe to
Mm.
put inside a ballet company.
I mean, also for sure, not everyone might like that person, because
Right.
also therapist is hard to find, because it really has to match. So for
Yeah.
sure, it doesn't work for everyone. But um, just already the fact that someone is there for you anytime you need, it makes you feel like
Supported, we can
important.
say.
Yeah, important. Like yeah,
Supported, or at least someone you can go to, and yeah.
I think those are the parts because we all agree that dance is not a sport, art are not sports, but this is the side when it comes to the team, is the side it would be good to import in our world from the sport, like high athletes. They all have this kind of support.
yeah,
So
that's exactly. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's that, like I was talking also in the Vanity Fair. Was it? I think it was Vanity Fair. Um, yeah, about the because actors have actually someone also because I was talking about this role that I had to do and they asked me to lose weight and it wasn't something that I didn't actually agree on. I was like, it's fine, I can lose weight, but you cannot tell me to not eat until the premiere, because then I don't eat until the premiere, and this is not healthy. I can lose weight in a healthy way, like actors does, and I can then rebuild after the shows. I can return to my my body, my weight, also healthy. It's if there's something like also this. It's also very interesting about art that we also have to play with our body. Um, and I like this. Is I don't think this is toxic because like if you really need to play someone that is like um because I was playing someone dead. If I have to say someone that and I see her skinny, you know it could be skinny, but yeah, I don't know. But I think the problem is that just the healthiest way could work. There's always a healthy way to do things.
True.
But let's not forget actors have a lot of money and they have a whole team
Yeah,
behind them that
yeah,
they're
yeah,
gonna make sure they take them back into their healthy weight and
yeah.
Yeah, of
know.
course.
But it's like the sports. Also, sports has a lot of money.
Right.
And like take football.
Yeah,
They have
for example.
yeah, for sure. Money does all of this also. Yeah. Um, but we have money, and we have enough money. I think also. I think we also have enough money.
I mean, yes, compares to other situations, and
Yeah.
yes, sure. Like, absolutely. We are privileged, yes.
Yeah. Mm.
Absolutely.
Reflecting on what we just spoke about, looking into like the mental health and physical well-being of dancers, what do you think is needed to have a healthier and more supportive environment?
More, let's say, maybe more like, what would you do if you would be in
Yeah.
charge, let's
Yeah,
say,
that's.
of a ballet company? What would you implement?
But that's what I actually was saying. I actually don't. I haven't discovered yet. Because um, it must be like I really put myself on a director, and it must be very hard to like really have the um you are somehow the leader of like 80 maybe less, but also like even 10 dancers are still, there's still a lot, and they're strangers, not like uh it's my mom that has 5 kids, like my mom knows us, is that strangers that has 7 people in the studio, and he has to lead them and he has to take care of them. And I mean, for so far what I think is or at least for me, what I would like to have is the listening part. If it's the um, being free to talk normally. Also, um, in the studio, we have a lot of frustration in our job. We get very frustrated, and this I understand. I get frustrated too, and sometimes I also answer bad. Sometimes there's a day where I'm like, no, I'm a bitch. Sometimes I answer like this, so I get people. It's just sometimes it happens too often. Like I would like to be like I like listening a lot. Actually, I listen to my colleagues. Um, I let my all my colleagues feel free to comment to me and tell me, oh, you could do this, you could do that, you know. But of course, there's that day where I'm like, I don't want to hear anything, you know. You know, but listening is important, and also for a director, listening the needs and um because also we it's our generation. We know more probably what the audience would like to see more than probably the director, you know? Probably, I don't know. It depends, of course. So why not listening? Like it's nothing like you don't have to say yes. You know, I don't get it. Why people doesn't just listen, and why I cannot talk if you can talk to me and I can listen, why I cannot do the same?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 50-50 situation.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're the artist that is gonna portray their art
Mhm.
that they're creating. So if you're not respected in a way or listen in a way what your needs
Mhm.
are, it will affect also eventually your performance on stage because
Yeah.
you're the one going through the audience and the art they're creating.
But somehow, like I think we're too good to fake that, and that's why maybe they say that actually doesn't matter because on stage they're actually good, you know.
That's true. That's
Well,
true.
it's our fault that we actually we always do the best that we can do on stage, and we always manage to do everything. We always do manage, you know. At the end of the day, it works.
Yeah, no, I agree. I said it also in another episode with Sandrine that sometimes we are the first one self-sabotaging ourselves in our field
Hmm.
because we crave for change, but we're
Yeah,
the first one too scared to step out
yeah,
for the change. So I agree with
yeah.
what you said.
Of course. But it's just normal. It's nothing. Changes are scary. Yeah.
Alessandro, we want to ask you something, but tell us if maybe we got it wrong, because out of the interview still in Vanity Fair, it seemed to be understanding that you would like to be seen first as a dancer, then especially when you're on stage, I think that was the thing. So not yourself like in your identity or anyway, even from the audience, let's say, that supports you, but you want to be
Hmm.
seen as a dancer first for you. Is that correct, first of all? Because maybe we got it wrong from the interview.
Um. Yeah. No. I think it's. I don't remember what I said. I would have said it, but actually, it's probably something. It's something that I actually could say because, like I said again, it's like the acting part for me, the most important. You know, I'm not Alessandro anymore on stage, and that's the best part for like the what I like also. It's like also it's like a therapy for me that somehow I leave all my problems backstage, actually outside the theater, and um and then I can be someone else, you know. So it's not Alessandro who you see on stage. In a sense, of course it's me, but you know, I'm trying to make you believe that it's not me, you know.
Of course.
um and like hearing probably that, oh, you really look like Armand in Camel and Dame, it will be the best compliment ever, you know, because that's what I try to do, to be Armand, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
um
It is very
yeah.
curious for me because I tried my whole career to, even though when portraying, probably I was also a bad actor, but even when portraying like other roles, I was always trying to make them as close as possible as myself.
Hmm.
That's why it is interesting to hear, of course, like let's say your approach is a more reasonable approach to our job when portraying a role, because of course you get really into the role and you're just changing perspective because you're trying to dig
Hmm.
as much as possible into that role. And I always try to do the opposite thing in my career, and that's why I think it was interesting. This I don't know. Probably I had something
I think
different into that.
I feel like you probably wanted to find ways to relate to the character, to understand it better. Because if you maybe see yourself in that character, then you can find a
Yeah,
way
maybe.
to.
Well, of
I,
course you have to put yourself like, so when I do my roles, of course, like I do it by my way, you know. It is still me that worked for this role. It's still me that I go to the bathroom in my apartment and spend time in the mirror saying, "Oh, you want this?" It's like, yeah, but this doesn't. It's not how this hand, like I move my hand, is not the way Alessandro does it. So let's do it this way. But this is not Armand also. Okay, so then let's do it between something like this. There's something that has to like it has to look good on me, but it's something that also says, "Oh, this is Armand,"
Of
or
course, of
whatever.
course. No, but it's all right. I thought it was just, of course, while you were talking, I was thinking about myself, and I was like, oh, why did I always approach it that way? You know what I mean? So I was just curious about that. But
No, but I don't think it's a bad way how you approached it. Why do you think it's
no,
I
I
think
had,
it's no.
to be honest, as a gay man myself, I had once a very complicated issue performing a role which was Don Jose in Carmen, because there was a scene that was quite violent towards a woman, and I felt very out of place doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find that part where I had to just portray that character. So for me, it was really challenging. And you know what I mean? And I just couldn't find a way where I could just put myself into that role because I felt very distant and I almost I didn't want to, you know? That's why then, of course, then with the time of the first time I've done this role, it was a bit like this and it was very challenging. I was also not really dealing well with everything around it because I really couldn't enter this role. And then let's say the second, third time I've done it, then I learned, let's say, to be a bit more of an actor. So I try to distance myself from it, which I think sometimes that's maybe the key. You know, you have
Yeah.
to, you really have to decide that's not you. Like
Yeah.
whatever you're
Yeah.
doing here,
Yeah.
whatever you ask to do, it's not you doing it, but it's just another picture of yourself, you know, but
Yeah.
it's not you portraying that.
That's
But
very interesting, actually. Yeah.
for me, it was very challenging
Yeah.
at the
Yeah. Of course,
beginning
I can imagine.
portraying those roles. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I understand now perfectly. I actually never had this experience of feeling uncomfortable on being someone else, of performing someone like something like this, like um big, I also have like sometimes, but I hear sometimes because actually now that you're talking about it, I have colleagues that come to me and say, Ale, what would you do actually in this one? Because my like if I when I do this role, my body moves in a way that doesn't make me feel comfortable. And I'm like, I don't know what it means because I never had this experience. Yeah. But now that you explain, it actually makes so much sense. So thank you. Because it
no,
makes
sure,
perfect
sure.
sense. Yeah. Yeah.
I find it so interesting because on the one hand side, I think people can detach themselves from a role. Others need to like this method acting kind of way where they need to experience the role like in their everyday life to find something.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's extremely
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I have a question, sorry. Jumping back to the role.
Hmm.
How do you prepare for a role? Do you read, like, for instance, let's take Armand. Did you
Hmm.
read the book? Did you watch other dancers that previously did the role? I know Kevin Hagen mostly prepares the
Hmm.
principal there. Do you
Yeah.
have conversation with him?
Hmm.
How did you came out with
Yeah.
your own Armand? I was so excited, by the way, when I saw the
Yeah.
casting and you were doing that with
Yeah.
Madonna. I
Yeah.
was like,
Me too.
oh my God,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. It's
amazing.
an incredible role. I mean, mostly for Marguerite, it's an like super hard role to play for as an actor, an actress. Um, Probably Armine is actually one of the easiest role I played because it's very like a guy that is loved. Like it's not like Margaret that has a really a history and every day there's something more because she's sick. So, but let's take Herman. I actually don't. I look also in class. I like to look what I don't like, what I like, and um, to make it my way, and to maybe not do it if I don't like it. Um, But in a role, I try to look at the steps and the way of the coordinations of the dancers, because of course there's Sasha Trush, there's this principal dancer in the company that has an amazing technique that I find it's amazing, and the coordination of the jumps, and you can really see it very well if you look at him. So I take this, I look at this more than the acting, the role, because otherwise it wouldn't be special, it wouldn't be mine, it wouldn't be anything new, and it wouldn't be me also. I love movies, but I watch the movies after, because I also don't like to repeat someone else, to take ideas from someone else. And then, of course, after, when I watch the movies, I'm like, I should have thought about that, But it's the risk that I want to take to not copy. I wrote the book actually before. But I think it's very easy for me to, and because I listen, that I find very easy to understand the role in the studio, when they explain the role. It comes, I don't need any, like, more than, I don't need to copy someone else, because I understood the role. I understood that this person got hurt, this person also is in love, doesn't have money, it's drunk, and it's straight. I understand this. I listen, I understand, and yeah, I think that's the way I do it. My role is by listening and talking about the role. The technique is more the watching, of course, in class and studio.
Now, moving forward into inspiring future generations, what impact do you hope your work will have on inspiring dancers who might not fit into traditional molds? For example, like into gender roles, or just, simply not feeling like they fit into the ballet industry with.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to change ballet, like the art of ballet, because that's what I like. And so I would like to help. I try to help people, and young generation mostly, with being simply myself at work, like in life, also, more than in ballet, like in the art, no, in normal life, being myself and showing that it's okay to be yourself. I think it's already a lot, because it's not easy. So it's not easy. It makes it scary, and it took a lot. Work every day. Someday I'm like, oh no, maybe I should not wear this. I don't feel that confident today. But yeah.
Question: was there like a pivotal moment that you felt this change, that I'm gonna be 100% myself? Was there ever, this kind of epiphany moment, or has it always been like ingrained in you?
Somehow my family always like let me free to be myself. I was with the tattoo and dressing up with my mom's clothes and at home, and when I was 12 until I was 15, probably. I think, yeah. I had a huge box of wigs and costumes from the ballet school, point shoes and heels, everything. So I always like clothes also. When I came to Hamburg, I felt more free, of course, like I said, to explore and to find myself, no, also in the clothes, So I started putting maybe a skirt, and yeah, I was scared, of course. Then someone would have punched me, but yeah, punch me. So I think I always felt free to be myself. It's just growing up, it was harder.
And talking about advice for aspiring dancers, what advice would you offer to young dancers who are striving to balance the demands of a traditional art form with their needs of personal authenticity?
Out like in the art also, or being
And just
or
getting into a professional world also in a ballet company or trying to shape themselves as artists.
if I got your question right, um, I think it comes from being in the right place. Like it's if you find like I feel very lucky that like my first audition was my right like my first place, you know, my first job. And but if you're not in the right place, this doesn't work. Like you don't find yourself, you don't find your art, your artisticity. No,
Artisticity, yeah,
artisticity.
artistry,
Yeah, thank you.
artistry.
You know, you need to go find something that is it's perfect for you, and it is I think the hardest thing also for the especially for the young generation, because um there's so many companies also in Germany. There's like many companies, and most of the people hears a lot of no before hearing a yes, you know. And maybe that yes is not even the right place, you know, and then you have to change again. It's I cannot talk about like my own experience, because like I said, I feel very lucky that I found it, and then it's my art. This like John's ballet like repertoire. It's actually my thing, and I think this is the something I would like to say to the young generation is like, don't stay in a place that you don't feel good on, because there is a place for everyone. You just need to find it. And I cannot say it's easy, but but it's worth it also, because I have many colleagues that um change places and they became like someone else. It's like they glow, they, you
They
know,
bloom, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Was that an advice that you received yourself? Because we are curious now to hear what was the advice that you received about your art or creativity or just simply you as a person.
I The best advice actually is just to be yourself, and this comes from John, from working with him. You know, the best thing um you can do, and doing it special and doing new, never seen, um unique, is simply doing it your own way.
Yeah. And if you could collaborate with any artist, living or deceased, who would it be and why? And actually, we also have this other, we added,
Mhm.
if you don't know what to, like who to say, with who would you love to have dinner and a conversation with?
I actually have both. I would love to work with Michael Jackson.
Hey.
It would be very interesting. I will also for dinner actually. I don't know. I love Michael Jackson. I love a lot of singers, but let's say a dancer. I mean Nureyev. Nureyev for sure. The dancing, the working together. It's a dream. Yeah. And dinner, I don't know. I'll be actually very scared probably to like hearing a lot from, you know, from people and books. Like it doesn't sound like that kind, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if I want to sit with her. Um, but Sylvie Guillaume for dinner. Yeah,
That would be very interesting.
yeah,
Hmm. Did you, probably you heard and watched the interview that Danny Simkin
yeah,
did with her? That
yeah,
was
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a brave
she's
woman.
also beautiful. She's a beautiful. Like she literally like glow. You can see
Yeah.
she glow, and because she's in the right place in there in her house, beautiful house. She can
Yeah.
see she's glowing.
Alessandro, in your opinion, what we should invest in, whether technology or education or collaboration, to ensure that dance remains a living, evolving art form for future generations?
Um, education and something else that I should learn because I feel uneducated, and I know it's the most important thing to keep this art and to know also like not to like to yeah to keep the art but not to keep it in the same like as it was. No, it's the base we have to know, but also to change it, and you have to know the history to know where everything started. I also it's very interesting. I mean, I find it very interesting. I don't really find it with my dyslexia, and I don't find much concentration after work to go and read a book. I struggle a lot with this. I wish I would have more time. Like usually in summer, I read, but yeah, education for sure.
I can just agree with you
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
Now, talking about challenges, have you ever experienced a moment, whether during a project or any specific situation, where maybe you felt confident and secure in yourself, but maybe something or someone made you feel out of place or caused your confidence to falter? And how did you navigate that experience?
I cried for a week when it happened. So it happened in
Oh,
Romeo and Juliet. Basically, it was the 50th anniversary of the comp of the Hamburg Ballet with John as a director, and so he decided to invite all the dancers that were in the company before to see our the day before the premiere of Romeo and Juliet. So our show of Romeo and Juliet. That season, it happened in June, the premiere, something like some at the end of the season. But at the beginning, in September, when we arrived from holidays, knowing the season, everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna be Romeo. You're gonna be Romeo. You're perfect for Romeo. Blue eyes. You're gonna be Romeo." No? And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be Romeo. I'm gonna be Romeo." No, of course, I would love to do Romeo. No, until I see rehearsals of Romeo without my name. And so I went to John and I was like, John, is there a reason why I'm not because I'm not stupid. I know I can play Romeo, so that's why I went to him. Otherwise I wouldn't go for something that you know I really don't believe I can do. So I was like, is there any reason why I don't do Romeo? Um he said something very weird. He said like, "Yeah, because I want a young Romeo," and I'm like, "Thanks." And also because you're gonna be Mercutio, and I was like, "Okay, okay." I was like, "Yeah, okay, okay, that's it." And I told my friends and colleagues saw the cast. I mean, not everyone, but some were like, "Oh, you're gonna be shit in this. You're not gonna be good in Mercutio. You're not a Mercutio. You should be Romeo." My best friend was like, "You're gonna be great," So also some positive. And I didn't want to be Mercutio. I wanted to be Romeo. But hearing that I couldn't do it, I was like, I'm gonna prove you I can do it. You know? So it actually pushed me to, the pushing down to get stronger, like we were talking before. Rehearsing with John, it was amazing. He explained everything of Mercutio. I started loving Mercutio because of it's the most acting role you could ever have, no? And you have to be funny, you have to be serious, you have to be straight, you have to be gay, you have to be inclusive, also curious, interesting. You have to take care of Romeo and Benvolio. You have to be a little bit stupid. Also, there's a lot of things. And I took actually inspiration from my brother, my second brother, which is a little bit like I really feel like Mercutio and Lorenzo, my brother, live life, and that's what they had in common. So yeah. Um, I was feeling very happy of my Mercutio. I was feeling because the first, no, it's probably not probably it was the first time I ever felt like I'd done something good. I feel happy. I'm proud of myself for doing this, for how I've done it. And John was very proud too. John was like, it's the best Merkut I've ever seen, and it was the best compliment I could ever have, you know. Until we finished this show with this 200 dancer. At the end, they came only 200 to watch the Hamburg Ballet. And I felt very good. I was like, I did good. I did very good. You know, I felt proud. I felt happy. It was the first time. I finish my show and I'm like, no, this wasn't good. No, 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 no. We have to do better. Very negative, very critical. So we got to the after party, and this lady comes to me in the bathroom and screams at me of how bad I did everything. And she was like, you have to stop like looking at you should look at your face less and look at your feet more. Something like it was like in shock. It's not the first time I hear something bad or something negative. It's just the occasion and the journey I had, and the way she did it in a bathroom with my friend, with me, a technician team standing there in a party where everyone is drinking, and she didn't have the power to come and say it in front of everyone, but she had to do it in the bathroom. It really hurt me. It really hurt me because also I saw how bad people can be, more than how bad the things she said is more the bad as a person you are, because you can tell me these things, but can you tell like you literally can tell me these things. I appreciate, I will work on it, but can you tell me differently? Like I really like had a bad image of people, how people they can be. I cried like for the entire day after we were doing rehearsal of Sleeping Beauty also. Somehow it went very fast around this thing, because um, I was crying and everyone was asking, until Kevin also found out. And he made me cry so much in Sleeping Beauty, because he was like try to make me positive and like to make me learn from it. The good part of this is that I had to experience all these people that were with me, that I heard. I was in the change room leaving because another ballet master left me early. It was like, go home, take care. um and I hear someone screaming my name in the corridor, Alessandro, come here, like super pissed that I never let anyone let you down, no? And everyone was so pissed at this for me, because they care. And this was the best thing I could have and see and feel from my colleagues, ballet masters, John, Kevin, best friends, um, teachers from the school. This teacher from the school. Oh my God! The day after in the premiere, I was walking, looking down. I usually don't look down. Usually I like not proud of myself, but like I know who I am, so I don't need to look down. That day I was looking down. She didn't do anything. She didn't say anything. She just lifted my chip up, and that's it. I cried. I was like, no, the makeup, I need to enter. Um,
Sometimes that's all it takes. It's nice. I'm happy you had at least like the support system behind and your colleagues, because you
mm,
can't always control people's behavior, and it's important that at least at your workspace where you
yeah,
spend a lot of your time, that you can have
yeah,
people that can support you and show that they care.
yeah, yeah. That I wasn't alone. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, by the way.
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
thank you.
Ale, sorry, as a last and final question, we want to ask you, what is success to you? And is it any different from how you imagined it at the beginning of your career?
It is very different. Um, I thought it was much easier. It's hard. It's hard, and you have to always be on point. You have to be um, always prove yourself. It's not a bad, not necessarily. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's hard because we work with our body. We get sore, we get injured, but we still have to work, and it's hard. So I didn't expect how. all this, you know. Yeah, I learned that success is not becoming famous, um, but doing something good. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Nice.
I want to ask you just as last question, I promise. So, being you were nominated principal dancer very young. Did you feel you had to prove something to someone? Did you feel it has changed the way your colleagues were seeing you being a principal,
Mm.
or you always felt they were seeing you and appreciating you as Alessandro?
Mm. That's a very good question, actually. Because knowing, like, being in the ballet, you know how the how do you call this? No, it's not
Hierarchy, like rankings?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. How hard it is and how important it is in ballet, you know, important not in a good way. I never felt like I wasn't unrespected in my art. I always felt very seen, and that people like my colleagues always like. I felt like they always liked my art, you know. So it didn't change anything from being a principal dancer. Then how was an apprentice talking about my colleagues. About myself, um, somehow always felt I keep feeling that I need to prove and prove. And this season less actually. Last season was the first season as a principal dancer, and even walking on the stairs and meeting someone from a kid from a school, I was like, oh, I need to lift up my shoulders. I need to show the principal dancer how they should walk. How stupid is this, you know? I'm tired. Let me walk, you know? Yeah, so, but this season actually, I don't do it anymore. Now, if I prove it, it's just because I want to prove you that I can do it, but not because I am a principal dancer. Um, I can prove you one day that uh I have a good day of turning turning day, and I can prove you also that I don't want to do class this day, you know, and I prove it, and I do prove it. Yeah,
Ale, thank you so much. Really has been very inspiring listening to you. We wish you all the best for your future projects, shows,
thank you,
upcoming shows and everything. Really.
thank you, thank you. It was very nice, interesting question. I liked
Thank
it
you
a
so
lot
much.
talking with you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Take care.
of course.
Ciao.
Yes, you too. Ciao, ciao.
Kunst. And all.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any artful updates. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kunst and all for more content. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to reach out and share your feedback. We are Lorenzo, Nastasia, and Francesco. Until next time, stay kunstig.
Amazing.
Can we have a second? I'm so sorry, Alessandro,
good.
so sorry. We have to have a second because there is my
Yeah.
my dishwasher is running. I don't know if you can hear it.
No.
And I have to stop it because I'm getting stressed now.
No,
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, good, oh,
the
good.
editing!
Yeah.
I was thinking about you.
Already before I'm sweating because I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this. Okay.
I was like, no, ti prego. Okay,
Okay.
go on. We will edit it
Take
out.
two.
Take two.